Hello guys, welcome back to Civil Engineering YouTube channel. Please subscribe our channel for daily civil engineering videos. In today's lecture, we are going to define and explain the types of stresses. In the last lecture, we explained and defined the stress and strain. So you can go and find these lectures in our last videos. So in today's lecture, we are mainly focused on the types of stresses, and we will explain this with the help of examples and diagrams so it will be more easy to understand. So we are starting with first of all with the tensile stress. This is the one of the important stress to understand here. It's most commonly in the flexural members and beams. The second one is the compressive stress, and the third one is the shear stress. So we are going to explain them in a very easy and simple way. So starting first of all with the tensile stress. The tensile stress is mathematically represented mostly with T, and it is T. I can write it simply force divided by area. So it is the tensile force divided by the cross-sectional area. Now how to explain and define them in figure. So let's suppose we consider this first object, this first top object, and we applied the load, tensile load, in this direction. So let's suppose this is the force, and also we applied the load here in this direction, force F. So now because of this load, there will be internal resistance created inside this body to resist this applied load. So if I look into the cross section, for example, if I look here into the cross section, what will happen? There will be internal stresses created because of this applied load. So because of this load here, because of this load, the resistance will be here in this direction. I called it R. And also because of this applied load, the resistance will be created in the opposite direction, and I also called it R. So now this R is known as the internal resistance, and this is basically the tensile stresses created inside this body. So we can define that the tensile stress is the resistance to the increase in length, because if we look to this, because of the load, the body will try to extend or will increase in length. It will also show some increase in length because of this applied load. So this is delta L, for example, and this is also delta L. So the resistance that is created inside the object to avoid the increase in length, this resistance is known as the tensile stress. So it is basically the resistance to increase in length in a body, increase in length, is known as the tensile stress. Now I will explain the opposite of this, which is the compressive stress. So compressive stress, let's suppose represented by C, is equal to the compressive load divided by area. But here let's suppose I represented by P. So this is P is the compressive load divided by the cross-sectional area. And let's suppose I take another object here and I applied the load in the opposite direction. And this is P, and this is also P. Now it is known as the compressive load because it compresses the object. What is meant by compression? Because it compresses the object, and it will now, the object will be now compressed. This is the new shape of the object. It will be compressed because of the compressive load. So now if I again take a cross section, for example, I take this cross section again. So because of this load P, what will happen? The body will resist here some forces. Inside the body, some stresses will be created in order to resist this P load. So this will be known as R, resistance, and also to this load P, internal forces will be created in order to resist this force in this direction. So in opposite direction, the force will be created, and I call it R. And this R is basically the internal compressive stresses that is created inside the body in order to resist the decrease in length, because now the object is going to decrease in length because of the compressive load. So this is now delta L is now is negative because there is a decrease in length. So the resistance provided to the decrease in length is known as the compressive stresses. So I call it here compressive stress, that it is the resistance to decrease in length, because the object don't want to decrease in length, and the resistance that is created inside the body will be known as the compressive stresses. So now, what is the shear stress? The third one is the shear stress. If I define the shear stress, so I can define it by tau, and it is equal to the, for example, I can shear force divided by the area. Now, how I will define the shear stress? So I will also explain this with the help of this diagram or figure, and let's suppose there is any load of P, which is the shear force here, is acting on this body. Let's represent it by F in this direction. So because of this load, what will happen? The body will deform like in this way. Depending on the material property, the body will deform like in this way. So what happens, due to the slide force, the body will slide, and there will be some internal stresses created inside this object. So the internal stresses will be acting here in this direction, and this will be equal in magnitude but opposite direction to that of F, and this I represented by R again. And this internal resistance that is created to resist the change or to resist the sliding of the object is known as the shear stresses. So if I define them, so I will define it like in this way. So this is the shear stress, resistance created or produced to the sliding of the object. The resistance created to the sliding force will be known as the shear stresses, because the load tried to slide this object, but there will be some internal resistance created in this surface of the object, and this internal resistance to the sliding force will be known as the shear stresses. So keep in mind this stresses is always the internal resistance of an object. It is not the applied load. There is a big difference between the internal stress and external stress. So these stresses are always the internal reactions or resistance produced inside the object. So I hope you understand. And also the main units of the stresses is megapascal, which is equal to the Newton per millimeter square, or sometimes they are also represented in Newton per square meter, which is a simple Pascal unit. Pascal, and 1 Pascal is equal to Newton per square millimeter. But in civil engineering terminologies, mostly megapascal is used in order to represent the tensile stresses, compressive stresses, and the shear stresses. So I hope you guys understood the today lecture, and don't forget to subscribe for the upcoming lectures regarding the structural mechanics, regarding this soil mechanics, the beam theory, and so on. Thank you for watching our video.